I'm gonna take myself a piece of sunshine and paint it all over my sky, yeah. Be no rain, be no rain. I'm gonna take the song from every bird and make them sing it just for me, yeah. Birds got something to teach us all about being free, yeah. Be no rain, be no rain. And I think I'll call it morning from now on. Why should I survive on sadness and tell myself I've got to be alone? Why should I subscribe to this world's madness, knowing that I've got to live on? Knowing that I've got to live on. Knowing that I've got to live on.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. We're up early. And if you're up early, you know you're with Babz Rolls Ivy. This is LoveBabz Love Talk. Hey, Harry. Good morning. I think it's going to be a very warm day today. I think this week is going to give us some heat. I hope y'all had a good weekend. I had a good weekend. I did a lot of getting ready for finals. Ugh. I come off the weekends of studying. I feel like I haven't studied enough. Trying not to be nervous, but I've got another week so before I have to take the contracts final, and then the property final is May after my birthday. Yeah, so the contracts final is the 27th. Oh, I still have a week. I have this week and next week to study, which is fine. And school ends on the 20th. So I got this week and next week to study. And then the final for property is Wednesday. I get my nails done at some point. Yeah. I'm gonna get my nails done. Oh, Tuesday. Oh, that's fine. I won't be in school. I'll just be getting my nails done. All right. Life is good. I am ready to finish out this year. I mean, I have to go to summer school, which starts like May 18th or something. Goes through to July. But that's all right. And then I have my summer internship that starts in June. So, and that runs to July or August. And then I'm in Jamaica from sometime in July through the a weekend, almost 2 weeks in Jamaica. Oh, I could feel myself on the beach. I can feel myself on the beach. I can feel it. So yeah, I've got a lot to talk about, but let me get through my weekend first, because y'all know I love to. My weekends always start on Thursday. I had a wonderful conversation on Thursday with King Kenny. So if you have a chance, go back and listen to him talk about the Grails. His record store, which as soon as I get out of school proper, I'll run over there and hang out a little bit. I'm just trying to move through school um, as best I can. Uh, yeah. So that was Thursday. I don't think I went anywhere. Friday, I went to a wedding. I went to Giovanni and Trey, the Moores, their wedding, and they had it on Wesleyan's campus, on a chapel on Wesleyan campus. And what a great wedding it was. She just looked so, I mean, she's already beautiful. Her parents named all of her siblings after Black authors. So her name is Giovanni, as you can guess, after Nikki Giovanni, you know. So she's got siblings who's got these wonderful, rich names after Black authors. And it's so, and when you say them, you automatically know. But anyway, her mother is Elaine Roper. Their father passed away not too long ago. Maybe a little while ago. But anyway, she got married to Trey, and Trey is a musician. He's an artist. He runs the Flint Street theater community artistic space. But he has a band, and he's a singer, and he's like, he's tall and lanky and just beautiful. And she's petite and beautiful, and she's a photographer, and she's always in black. Black is her signature. She's one of those people like that will be like, well, this is formal black, this is casual black, this is hang around the house black, this is go to the grocery store black. Like I've never seen her anything other than black. And she's so pretty and cool. Like she's like the epitome of cool with curly hair, the whole thing. Um, and she's a photographer. So they had photographers at their wedding. They had people running up the aisles taking video. And they told there's big signs that say, please don't take pictures of the, and there was some assholes doing it. It's always assholes who think the rules don't apply to them. That's why, when I officiate weddings, I just say it out loud. I was like, listen, they don't pay for a photographer. You can put your camera down. You can put your camera down and enjoy the wedding. Be here with us. That's what I always tell people. But they had photographers, they had videographers. They started the wedding with the proposal. The screen came down. They showed the proposal. It was so beautiful. They had a wonderful singer. They had a dancer. It was just one of these weddings that was just orchestrated very well. Beautiful. They looked beautiful. The bride looked beautiful. The groom looked beautiful. The colors were earthy colors, greens and browns and golds, and I didn't even realize what the colors were. I did not pay attention, but I showed up like I paid attention. I showed up in my sister Lo brought me a African duster from Black Wall Street last year, so I put that on. I had on some black pants and a gold sweater, and then I threw that on top of it. I wasn't thinking about that. I was just thinking, this is what I'm wearing to the wedding. And lo and behold, those were the colors. So I thought they sent out what people should wear because, young people don't often know how to dress. They don't know how to show up to stuff. And so you have to like prompt them. Hey, don't wear sneakers. Don't do this. No hoodies. I mean, you have to actually tell people this these days. You have to tell people how to show up for interviews, all that kind of stuff. Because people don't have some of those formal things that instructed you. Like people don't go to church the way that I grew up going to church. So you had church clothes and you had your street clothes, and you had play clothes. You know what I mean? Or school clothes. And never the twain shall mix. And then when I went off to HBCU, they send you a list before you come to school saying, you're going to need this, 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 this. You're going to need a black dress for Vespers. You're going to need a white dress for Vespers. You're going to need some formal attire. And you're going to need some cocktail attire. honest to God. My mother went to getting busy, so I had all kinds of cool stuff and great stuff. Um, so, so yeah, so young people don't. A lot of people don't have those kinds of influences, you know. And yeah, you have to tell people don't wear shorts to interviews. I don't know why people think that's appropriate, but they do, and they always have to be like side-eyed. But that's not what I want to talk about today. I was appropriate. I was gonna be appropriate no matter if I wore, blue. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, I know how to dress. 62. I know what's appropriate. I know how to show up. I know what's professional. I know what's casual. I know what casual Friday is. You know what I mean? Like, I know these things because I've learned these things. I know these things because I've learned these things. So that was Friday. I did not go to the reception on Saturday. I did not RSVP for the reception. Because I knew I had to commit my Saturday to rigorous study. So there's a couple of things that I didn't get a chance to go to. I did go to the gym. Went to the gym. I didn't go to the gym Saturday. I went to the gym Sunday. Um, 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 my soror Jennifer dedicated the bench in the park to Soror Dolores Greenlee. The bench over there by Truman Street, and I couldn't go. I didn't go to that, but I saw the pictures, and that was such a beautiful. It just looked so beautiful. The celebration for Sharon Clemens was yesterday. I didn't make that. I couldn't make that. Because I got to hunker down. I gotta hunker down, and so it was really nice to see, and I have to be very I have to decide the things that I could go to based on time, because someone made a comment to me. It was like coming to something, something, something. Or I was like, no, I can't. I got um, finals. And they were like, well, I see you all over the place. Like, you don't see me all over the place. What you see is photos of me in places. But you got to pay attention to when the photos are lifted. The photos are not at the moment. Do you know what I mean? Like, they're not, I'm not live photoing, right? They're pictures I take after I've gone to something, or if I'm there, I'll load them. But most of the time, it's after the fact. This is what I did today. This is what I did yesterday. So I just, that's how hard people be checking me, which is fine. I go to what I can go to, but law school is a heavy lift. And Saturdays are prime. The weekends are prime study days. I mean, they just are prime study days, and so I try to use them the best of my ability. So that was my Saturday, and then Sunday I went to the gym, and we go to the gym 8 o'clock on Sundays. Me, Markeisha, Kay, and now Dr. Shireen Mason joins us on Sunday. That's my church time right there. That's what I do. Uh, that's my church time. And then here we are, Monday the 13th, back at it. And so, oh, you know what, Harry? I've got a guest this morning. I've got Terry Burton coming on, which, you know what? I didn't realize today is the 13th. He's going to come and talk about films. So, I'm going to go and look that up because that's our guest this morning. So we're going to talk about films. That's why putting stuff on the camera is putting stuff on your calendar is so good. He's gonna come on, he's gonna talk about films because he's coming to Yale to do something. And I'm very excited by that. So yeah. So somebody's getting up early this morning. He's gonna give me some early cinema history. So he'll be on at uh 7:10. So I'll find it. I'll find it. I'm trying to think who sent it to me. You know. Oh, it'll come up. It will pop back up. But anyway, um, let me say that. All right, so that was my weekend. So let me do this. A couple of things. Uh, to the Pope. Um, those of us who did not vote for the imbecile president, we apologize. We apologize. We did not vote for him. He does not speak for us. We recognize he's an imbecile. We recognize he don't got no home training. We understand and we know and you see he has no diplomacy. You are the vicar of Christ, the Church of Christ. He sees everybody as a rival. You don't owe him nothing. You don't hold political office. You are not running against him, but he's an imbecile. He's a dummy, as a matter of fact. And so for him to spew that kind of nonsense out there into the world about the Pope, it's just more more reasons why he's stupid. And we know it now. You know it, but you've always known it. I understand your moral compass, Pope. I understand. And when you speak out against atrocities and genocide in the world, you speak about all of it, not just some of it. So if something is wrong, it's wrong. It's wrong whether it's whoever fires the bombs, it's wrong. You said it was wrong for Venezuela, for the attack on Venezuela. It was wrong for Nigeria. It's wrong. It's wrong in Gaza. It's wrong in Lebanon. It's all wrong. And I am in agreement with you, Pope. I am in agreement with you. It's unfortunate that the United States, that the imbecile president, it's just out of pocket. So that's number one. So apologies from those of us that did not vote for this kind of embarrassing foolishness. We did not vote for that. Now, for the First Lady and her I don't know him tour. Listen, if that's how you talk about somebody that you don't know, girl, I can't imagine what it looks like with people you do know. Girl, you done told us, you stood up there in your little suit reading, talking about I don't know him. We weren't friends. I didn't meet my husband through him. Girl, what you did, you met Marla Maples' husband. Let's call a spade, baby. You met Marla Maples' husband because he was married to Marla Maples when you slid into his DMs. There's enough blame and shame to go around with that foolishness. Okay? You knew him. So then, as soon as she said that, I was like, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, level up. Because here comes the receipts. Girl, you pole dancing with that man in the room. You at fashion shows. You got your arms around him. You kissing him. You laid up with him. All the things. Girl, if that's how you treat somebody you don't know, I dare say I don't know what you do with people you do know, because if that's you not knowing people, girl, I don't know what knowing people is. Child, child. That girl got up there. That woman got up there with a straight ass face and said, now the only person I know who could pull that off is Mariah Carey when she said, I don't know her. When she was talking about somebody who said something about her, she was like, I don't know who she is. That's the only person who could do that. You coming out there in the middle of somebody's day talking about, I don't know her. Child, if you don't go somewhere and sit down and then, you know, your husband started this war to take the emphasis off these Epstein files. And here you come marching yourself out there, bringing it right back to the center, talking about these women need to be heard. And you weren't harmed by Epstein or whatever it is you say. Girl, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. And I don't know if nobody ever told you, but uh, Terry Borton. Okay. Anyway, I just feel some kind of way that she had to march her little self out there and carry on that way. Just carry on. Just, I don't I don't know if they was fighting at the house and she was like, I'm gonna get me some get back. I don't know. I don't know what prompted her. And then, and then the president act like, he got caught off guard because I don't think he knew old girl was gonna go out there and raise some filth. I was like, all right, let's get into it. Here we go. So I just like I'm gonna just let them do their thing. So that's that, right? Apologize for the Pope. Laugh more at Melania. He didn't know what she was gonna say, I guess. Girl, if you don't get somewhere to sit down, they stay doing harm to people. Those Trumps, they're just they stay doing harm. This. Oh, I know. Uh I wanted to talk about the you know, Barack Obama had already brokered a deal for the straight, right? That wasn't even an issue. That was settled and the deal was standing until 2040. But because this president, anything that this is what I'm always saying. This is the problem with white supremacy. It thinks and tries to act like it is equivalent to black excellence, and it is not. And these white supremacists understand you are not equal to black excellence. That's what drives them. They think by virtue of whiteness that somehow or other they are equal to black excellence, and they are not. Hands down, 10 toes down. It's not the equivalent. It's a false equivalency. So they think by virtue of being white, they can step into any role and do anything and be like, see, I could do this. Nope, nope. You cannot. So the very fine, the very dapper, the very debonair, the very diplomatic black ass president had already handled this matter for the world. Here comes the imbecile president who hates everything about Obama because that's what jealousy does. It runs through you, it eats through you. That's what jealousy does. That's what jealousy does. And as he might, Trump will never be beloved by sane, smart, intelligent people. He'll be beloved by the low IQ dummies in the world who think that they are owed something because of their whiteness. That's what they think. That's what they think. So, uh, that's what we got. So we are in this mess, right? Now we got to send, you know, we got to send our ships over there, and now it's more fight. Like it's just that's the only language he thinks he knows. You know what I mean? Like that's the only language he knows is to like let me show some might. And then here's the other crazy thing. He wants to build like like the arch in Paris and in Washington and Washington Park in New York. He wants one of those in DC named after him, the Trump arch thing. Yeah, no. Yeah, no. I listen, it's gonna be all right. It's gonna be all right. So I'm just gonna leave it at every day I, I'm with a lot of people. This is very it's very wearisome. You know, this administration wears you down a lot. It does. It wears you down. And I understand how people can feel it. Do you know what I mean? Like I get it. We are not alone in our exhaustion. You know what I mean? We're not you're not alone. If you feel exhausted, trust and believe. Uh uh if you feel exhausted, we all feel exhausted. That's the point that I want to make. If you feel exhausted, we all feel exhausted. But fear not, hope is on the way, and help is on the way. And if you're paying attention to the political landscape, you see that the elections leading up to these midterms, Democrats are it's a wave. It's a wave. So don't be too discouraged. Just make sure when it's time for you to cast your ballot, you cast it. When it comes up for the vote, you make sure you cast it. Don't fear not. Hope is on the way. Do you know what I mean? I don't want you to I don't want you to feel like it's hopeless because it does feel that way. It feels that way with the assault of ICE everywhere and this theatrical foolishness of dragging people out of courtrooms and hospitals and schools, and it's all theatrical, it's all theater, it's all to show these white folks, look, I'm getting rid of these people, because that's what white supremacy does. It's just theater. He couldn't get rid of every immigrant in this country if he tried. This is just theater. This is just for the dummies who don't know anything, who don't read, who don't pay attention, who don't understand immigration, who don't understand anything other than I just hate these people, because that's just all it is. I just hate them, you know. So it's all theater, and then these folks are emboldened to sort of drag women and beat women and people and throw them to the ground, and then, it's like the time of the Romans and throwing Christians into the lion's den. and then the Romans are watching and cheering, ooh, get him, get him, get him. It's that kind of spectacle. It's that kind of spectacle. You know, this is that kind of spectacle. This is that moment. Or the way that they used to lynch people. And by lynch people, I mean black people. The way they lynched black people, and people would gather with their family and friends. I mean, so much so that people would take pictures and they would make postcards. And the United States Postal Service had to say, stop. We're no longer going to send these photos around the country. People were taking pictures of there were whole postcards of this stuff. People were cutting off parts of black bodies and displaying them at the house on the mantle. Look at here, I got a piece of this nigga. I got a piece of that nigga. That's what they were doing. This is why folks don't want to learn about, the history of black folks and Africans in America, because they know the heinousness of it all would just the world would see them for what they are. And we already see them for what they are. The world already sees you for what you are. The world already sees. So anyway, that's my rant for the moment. That's my rant for the moment. And help is on the way. Help is on the way. Help is on the way. And by help I mean the midterms. And then we could, get rid of these people. And I honestly, I wish we could invoke Article 25, where you get rid of the president, the vice president, the whole damn cabinet. You want to make history? Do that. I need the Democrats to get a little tougher. I need Dems to really, listen. I need you to put everything on the table and fight this tyranny. Seriously, it's no time to be like, oh, I want to get reelected. Get in the ring, bare knuckle, swing, 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 swing as hard as you can, because you got to knock them down. Right now, you got me. I got to use violent metaphors to make a point, because this administration is so violent. There's no turning the other cheek. This is a fight for democracy. This experiment of democracy is not over. And the hint of fascism cannot drive some people to think this is the way we want to go. It is not. It is not. So, I'm just putting it out there. This is not the way we want to go. And people got to show up like this is not the way we want to go. So anyway, we know that. So keep hope alive. Keep hope alive. Keep hope alive. Keep hope alive. So on some good news, the New Haven alumni chapter, a couple of weeks ago took over 33 new sorors. Woohoo! And I watched their show online because I could not be there. And then yesterday, the Pi Alpha, the Yale chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, they took some young sisters over, and they had their probate show yesterday afternoon. And I saw those pictures, and it was wonderful. So there are Deltas crossing all over the country. My good friend, my brother's, one of my brothers, my sister-in-law Bev's good friend, Margaret Lopez, who is a friend to me too, but she's in my brother and my sister-in-law cohort. Her daughter, Jasmine, which I call her my niece, went over for Delta yesterday, and she sent me a picture of Jasmine. She was 61 on a line of 99. Woo-wee! Woo! I was like, child, 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 child. But these women are getting into sorority life, and for all the ones who are denouncing sorority life, and there's a bunch of them all over the place denouncing what the black sororities, Greek sororities, and witchcraft, and also I mean, they're just going to these churches putting this in their heads and all that kind of stuff. So they out here, being public about renouncing, which is I don't even get. I mean, if you don't want to be it, you could just renounce. I don't know. I don't know what you get out of this. You just look crazy because you're gonna regret it. As I said the other day, if you thought we were a coven of witches, if there was even a chance that we could be a coven of witches, like all the D9, the devil sitting in the White House right now would not be sitting in the White House. You can bet, you can burn some incense on that. Uh, you could burn some incense if 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 the D9 was a coven of witches, honey, Kamala Harris would be president. Kamala Harris would be president. She would be president. So I'm just putting it out there. So now, all the D9 folks, when people doing all this turning back their stuff, they formalize it. At least I know our sorority has formalized it and said, listen, anybody who wants to give up, being in the sorority, you can renounce. Here's a formal way to do it. Here's the information you need to do it, and we will accept it and go in peace. Yes. 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 Do you know what I mean? These people are just, I don't know. I think people get in these churches and they let these men run churches run them. Because that's really, well, they got some man who's, some hotep man who's telling them, oh, you can't serve two masters. First of all, ain't nobody serving not near one master. Let's be clear. I'm always baffled how people could let stupid people run them. I don't get it. I don't get it. I mean, if you're a right thinking mind, then this kind of stuff. But you know what? People make all kinds of decisions based on what they need to do for themselves. Honestly. Honestly, they do. And we got to be all right with that. We've got to be all right. Let people make let people make the decisions that they need for their lives. And we're not into convincing business. This is not what you want to do. This is not for you. And that's anything. That's anything. That is for anything. You know what's for you, you know what's not for you. But you don't gotta like just because it's not for you, now you wanna poison the waters so that you believe it's not for anybody. That's white supremacy work right there. That is some white supremacy work right there. You're gonna lead people to their own you're gonna lead people to their own devices. And that's it. That is it. That is it. So yeah, 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 yeah. So anyway, I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna leave it at that, boys and girls. But what I wanna before I take my break, I do want to impress upon people that the weather this week is gonna be serving and giving. Right now it's 49 degrees. The high today is 71. So my mom needs me to I've got a guest at 7:10. I need to. Yes, I sent you the text just a little while ago because I forgot. Yeah, and I don't know how to get in touch with them to cancel. So, but I will keep it tight. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, I'm gonna take a break. But when I come back, I'm gonna be talking to Terry Borton. He is the author of Magic Lantern Art, the American screen's first great narrative artist, Joseph Boggs Beale. So it's a book published by Indiana University Press, and he's gonna come and talk about it. And so I think you'll be fascinated and interested in what he has to say. I know I will be. So I'm looking forward to having a conversation with him in about 10 minutes. So yeah. Okay, Harry. So sorry about that. I didn't keep it pressing.
Well, come on, let's sing. Let's go.
Hi, this is Babz Rawls-Ivy from New Haven, Connecticut, and you're listening to WNHHLP 103.5 FM, streaming live at newhavenindependent.org.
Yes, I did. To just go down and check out the show. Yeah, they were dancing and singing and moving to the grooving. And just when it hit me, somebody turned around and shouted, "Play that funky music, white boy. Play that funky music right. Play that funky music, white boy. Lay down the boogie and play that funky music till you die." Till you die? Yeah. I tried to understand this. I thought that they were out of their minds. How could I be so foolish? How could I? To not see I was the one behind. So still I kept on fighting. Well, losing every step of the way. I said I must go back there. I got to go back and check to see if things still the same.